hate stealth games. I never liked them. I don't have the patience for that shit. I bought this game on a whim. I thought it looked interesting, and to my surprise, it ended up being the one genre that I avoid like the dark spots on a banana. But fuck it, I bought it, so I played it, and I can confidently say that it surprised me. It's pretty freaking good. Imagine if I actually liked stealth games. I feel like the go-to thing for new stealth games, especially since the popularity of reboot Hitman series took off a while ago, is to make a game that's a sandbox with endless choices. Eriksholm, the store, Eriksholm, the store, Eriksholm, the store. This game takes a different direction, one that I think tailors the experience and makes it a little bit more appealing to people who enjoy puzzle games. It's not sneak past a guy a billion different ways. It's actually methodical and handcrafted with specific ways to move forward. This game dumps a boatload of charm on you right off the bat. The story yoinked me like if I was a snake in the Everglades with that one guy running around.
Ooh, what do we got here? Yoink.
The dialogue feels supernatural between the characters, with the facial expressions being scary good. They used that new Unreal Engine 5 technology for the facial animations and whatnot, and I was definitely convinced that those pixels had emotions. Voice acting ties everything together in a nice little bow and throws it at your face full force. In the beginning, you are presented with a mystery. I won't tell you what it is because I'm somewhat of a mystery myself, but it peels back the story in a well-paced manner and it keeps you engaged for the most part. As a cherry on top of that, there's a ton of lore sprinkled throughout the world that really made it feel alive. Character chatter isn't limited to "who goes there? Must have been the wind" head-ass type of character dialogue. You can tell just by the people that you meet and things that are said right away that it's a small town, close-knit community with a looming governing presence. While the whole politically corrupt town filled with charming law-breaking citizens isn't new, I literally just described arcane. Eriksholm manages to squeeze its way into the category with an interesting plot. Since the game is fairly short, it's got plenty of moments that keep the pacing and add genuine emotions to the mix. But I will say a little bit more than halfway through, it does lose its pizzazz after the big reveal. So even though the story was what hooked me to begin with, the gameplay was what carried me to the end. Eriksholm is described as a narrative-driven isometric stealth game. I have no idea what that means. Isometric means of or having equal dimensions. That didn't help me at all. It just means top-down. Why didn't they just say that? Top-down at an angle with a rotating camera. Yes. It's compared to games like Shadow Tactics or Desperado 3, both of which I've never even heard of. The core gameplay loop is a series of stealth puzzles, with each area being its own little challenge room. It's got frequent checkpoints, so if you get caught all the time and fail like me, it's pretty forgiving. I actually think that some sections are meant for the whole trial and error thing, but I'm also only saying that to make myself feel better. Even though the majority of puzzles are stealth-based, they do give you tiny stealth breaks here and there. Drink every time I say stealth, you'll be blasted by the end of this video. And you bet your sorry ass I sprinted through those sections. I'll thump through that shit and it felt so freeing. I lack patience. I hate stealth games. I was actually surprised by the variety the gameplay has, not only with the puzzles, but also introducing multiple playable characters. Each had their own ability, I guess you could say. For example, one character can dart bitches to sleep while the other has a slingshot to make noise with rocks. It sounds so dumb saying it out loud, but it did add some fun to interchange between the characters' playing styles, adding creative layers to the puzzles. Puzzles in this game are like ogres, which are like onions if you didn't know. There is a jarring jump in difficulty when it gets to the part where you have to control 2 or more characters at once. All of a sudden, both my brain cells were split and had to work at the same time. But it was honestly a welcome challenge and it made the progression feel a little bit more rewarding. I want to also quickly hit on UI and controls. Whether you're playing on controller or mouse and keyboard, all of the controls were intuitive. I was hesitant to like it at first because of the top-down thing due to my own biases, but honestly my doubts were quickly squashed. Plus the UI is very clean. I loved the subtitles popping up on top of the characters while they were speaking, which made it really easy to follow, especially considering the amount of dialogue in the game.
Look, it's just one kid. The Baron won't even notice.
And it's simple. Brain like simple. Before I move on, I'm gonna do something atrocious. Interrupt the video to ask you to like it. I think it helps the algorithm. I don't really know. I just be putting out these bangers hoping that they take off once in a while. Anyway, this game is visually delicious. The world is packed with detail. The environments and the aesthetics are nailed. And the level design feels squeaky clean. It has everything you'd want in a stealth puzzle game. Verticality, clear pathing, and shadows to hide in. Couple that with the juicy audio design for both sound effects and music, and the atmosphere slaps. I know that I've been shucking this game's dick for a little bit, but it's definitely not perfect. For one, replayability isn't really there. I guess if you're a completionist and you want to go back to get all the little notes, you can do that. But due to the fact there's often only one way to beat a section, there's really no reason to go back through and try different things. Some of the jank was also very frustrating. I tried to skip a cutscene, for example, since I'd already seen it before I failed, but the skip button was just for show, apparently, at that point, and I had to watch the whole cutscene anyway. There's also certain inconsistencies with some of the mechanics. My mouse would randomly disappear, clicking too quickly meant the input just didn't work sometimes. And probably the most jarring example for me was a crock pot filled with bullshit. I was in a section that clearly needed me to use the sleep dart, and so I did, and I failed. I failed 3 times doing the same thing, so I thought to myself, there's no way that this is what the game wants me to do. Fucked off and tried different things, and nothing else made sense. I did nothing different. I did the same thing 4 times, and for some reason, it only worked on the 4th time. I definitely had several veins popping out of my forehead during that sequence. Thankfully, though, the good outweighed the bad for my experience, and as you play through it, you can tell the game was made by a team with passion and love for the project, which really shines through with the writing and attention to detail. For $40, you get about 8 hours of gameplay, and I'm a little conflicted about that if I'm honest. Usually at that price point, I heavily critique anything under at least 15 hours. But honestly, this game, what it lacks in length, it makes up for in charm. I wouldn't blame you if you waited for it to be on sale, but if you think this is something that's right up your alley, it's definitely worth your time. Or you could trick a friend into buying it and then steal it from them. Life hacks. As someone who fucking hates stealth games, Eriksholm: The Stolen Dream is definitely underrated. A lot more people should be talking about it because AA games fly under the radar way too often. Let me know down there if you think there's any other stealth game that will change my mind about the category, but honestly, fuck stealth games. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.